So I wanted to make a video on the difference between Iambic A versus Iambic B. I prefer Iambic B, and we had a little discussion on a live stream this evening with Kyle, AA0Z, and we had a really great presentation by Adam, K6ARK, who put together a pretty good slide deck on the mechanics behind the differences between Iambic A and Iambic B. And I wanted to put together maybe a demo that would maybe hit home a little bit for some of the folks that weren't able to follow along with the slide deck, and do a little bit of a demo. Right now I have Iambic B set up in my Yaesu 101. And I'm just using this because it's going to be an easy way for me to switch back and forth between A and B. And I'd like to do something as simple as send the letter N, which is a dash and a dot, or a da-dit, right? You can see that I can push this and then that. That's an N. Notice how I can go, I can push the dash and then quickly push the dit side. And I've always said that Iambic B kind of has a 1-bit memory in it. So it remembers the last button push. Now if we go and select Iambic A, for example, and I'm doing this with the CW speed set at 4 words per minute. And this is a great way for you to kind of see some of the differences here. As you increase your speed, the differences get a little bit more noticeable because unless you're really on with rhythm, Iambic A, if you've learned the Iambic A way, it becomes a little bit different or a little bit difficult to do Iambic B or vice versa. So now that we have Iambic A on, let's send that N again. Ooh, it didn't get the dit. But you could see I pushed the dit button, right? But I didn't push the dit. I didn't have the dit button held in by the time it was time for a dit. There we go. Whoops. So that's the essential difference between Iambic A and B. You essentially have a memory for the next either dit or da that's going to happen. So you better have that lever pushed for that next element that you want to send. Like a K would be, right? You can't go. Now let's try a K with Iambic B. Or you can squeeze it. Whoops. There you go. So that's my quick way of explaining Iambic A versus Iambic B, which it has the memory. Now if we turn this up to, I don't know, call it like 20 words a minute. Actually, let's go to like 10 words a minute. You can do different letters, like there's a Q. Now if we do, now we're on A. You can see if I time it just right, I can try to hit the dit and it will never happen because I am not in the sequence for the dit to be able to happen. If that even makes sense. I don't even know if I said that right, but maybe the demo will help. So I need to keep that dit on until the dit actually happens. So you go, and in Iambic B, you can preempt that dit a little bit. You can go like that. But you notice it didn't have the dit. The dit did not come into play. So if we go to back to B, so you can hit that dit just about any time. So it almost like Iambic B kind of helps with sloppiness. And yes, I am a sloppy sender. So I can do a Q easily. Again. Now if we go back to A, it's going to be harder for me to send a Q. I'm sending it, I'm hitting that at the exact same time I normally do. You got to keep that in to get that dit going. So I am what is known as more of a slapper. So another reason why B is good for me, because I'll go like that. I just kind of kick that dit in there. And that's my excuse for thinking that I go fast when I do go fast. So if I crank this up to, like, you know, call it 38 words a minute, that's a Q. Now if we go to A and I try to do the Q, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it sends a completely different letter. I think I just sent okay. So it's just very strange, and I'm trying to be deliberate about it. That's why the paddle's moving around here, but yeah, I can't even, like, I want to try to hold it for the amount of time that's required to make the Iambic A function work properly to send a Q. See, I'm getting better. So that's what Iambic A versus Iambic B is like. So I can send a Q all day long at, 38 words a minute. And with Iambic B, because I'm used to it. And yeah, I hope that helps with understanding the differences between Iambic A and B. A lot of people think it's just the squeeze, but as you can tell, if we bring this all the way down to 4 words a minute, and we go to A, even if you swipe back and forth, if this was a single lever paddle, if you went like that, you still have a problem. You have to go. You have to have that pushed down for the time that the dit needs to happen. You can't go like that. You need to get into Iambic B. And that's how that works. So just by using the simple letter N at a very slow speed, 4 words a minute, you can kind of fiddle around with Iambic A versus Iambic B and understand the differences a little bit. This video went way longer than I thought it would, but I like to use the letter Q as another good example. If you do not do the timing just right, now that we're in A, I cannot get that dit to happen unless I push it and hold it for that dit character to occur. So hopefully that helps. Again, Adam K6ARK put together a really great presentation, you know, with a little bit of a timeline and what the pushes look like. And it's kind of hard to illustrate that because you have to understand how long I'm pressing each lever, and then what the output of that is for the various iambic elements. My favorite is B, and you know what? Maybe it's just because I'm used to it. So appreciate you guys watching the video. Have a good night. CW on, my friends.